Julie, I mean, you've given us a little hint, but perhaps you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, your story, and how you got to doing what you're doing, because teaching in schools, however young, is going to be such an important part of what we need to change things.
I mean, without going into massive detail again about my story, I mean, the girls that have shared today, gosh, it brought stirred up so many emotions and memories for me. I don't think it ever leaves you. Gemma, I have trust issues just as you do. I think I drive my husband crazy. You know, he says, when will you ever believe that I will never do something like that? Um, I don't think I'll ever believe that because that's you're in survival mode and I always feel I have to protect myself, and I actually do have, and he laughs at me, I have a running away fund in my own account, and that's through what happened to me. Marrying someone that he was actually in finance, very clever, got me involved in debt, um, and very, very similar bit to you, Ginny, ended up having to pay things off. Luckily, my mum and dad are very supportive, but I didn't share a lot with my parents. They didn't have the financial backing to help me. They've always been sort of working class people who, everything they have, they save, they spend, and work really hard for what they had. So I think for me, there was a lot of shame in my relationship in the fact that I knew it was breaking down. I knew I was being financially controlled, sexually controlled, emotionally controlled, and I got upset. So, um, but
Don't
We've
worry.
got you. We've got you, Julie.
the shame of that's horrendous.
Yeah.
But the first time I told my story was through Gulnaz, in her book, of Inspiring Women. And it's the first time I was honest with people around. I think when people look at me, they say, oh, Julie's got the confidence, the success, she's done amazing. They don't see the hurt and the past, do they?
No.
All right.
Hey,
You've
don't
started
worry,
me off,
Julie.
you two. I was doing fine until you two shared your story. Um,
Take your
it
time.
does go on forever. And financial abuse, going to court 5 years like you've cost me, I think it was £55,000 in court. Trying to have the children taken off me, saying I was unfit, more everything you can think of, I went through in terms of assessments and stuff. And I came out the other end. And I think one of the things for me, maybe not a success, I don't know, there was one judge who he'd been writing letters to me and the children. There was one judge who actually read the letters. I managed to get them in front of him. And he just stopped the whole court and said, what the hell is going on here? I can see through this. You want to control her, and this is going to stop. And I could have kissed that judge because I'd had women judges. I'd gone through different solicitors because he'd threatened me solicitors who didn't want to represent me because it was too dangerous. I'd had my house set on fire. I'd been nearly run off the road with the kids in the car. I could go on. So people were quite scared. And some of the police had lost cases because some of the police were like, look, he's really good at this. I know. So I get where you are, but that judge seeing through him changed his manner. He blew in court. He lost his act. And I was seen, I was heard. Someone believed me.
Wow.
Changed it just sort of gave me the kick in, do this. Someone else seeing it, someone else is seeing it, thank God. And from that, then he wasn't allowed to have contact with me or the children. It had to be supervised. And he gave up at that point because he did not want to be assessed psychologically. He didn't want to have all that. He put me through that, but he didn't want that. So I'm in a position where he never paid maintenance. I've never had a penny from the children's dad. Like you struggled, I'd actually set my own business up, gone through that process, still going to court. I don't know how I survived the first 2, 3 years of running my nursery. Do you know what kept me going? The children. You look at them, and that's what gives you the drive to go. You are not going to have that future. I will show you what survival is, and I'll show you what a strong woman is. And I hopefully have raised my kids to be strong women, financially independent. And I've changed a lot of my things in financial. I have now put my house in trust so that my children, when I die, get bloodline only. It doesn't go to their partners, whether they're married or not. I've put things in place now to protect them if they haven't got the courage or if they're manipulated financially. I've protected them within my will and
Wow.
my when I go and pass. And I think that is something that is not taught in schools, even for
Mm.
our parents who don't really understand what can happen if you do divorce. That your ex-partner can come after everything. I went through family court, then I went through financial court. Because he didn't win over the children, he then took me to financial court. And I had to find £130,000 to pay him off because he wanted the nursery, he wanted me busy, he wanted me on the street, and he actually said, I won't be happy till you are homeless. So my complete drive was, you are not going to get that. I will fight you to the end. So to be where I am, having been working in banking, that's where I started, business and finance, loved it, fell in love with it. Working as a trainee manager in business in Marks and Spencer's, going to university, studying business studies and education, becoming a teacher. I actually became a head teacher, and I was somebody that got into a relationship, ended in an abusive relationship. And that still blows my mind. Why did I not see that? He was charming. He was great salesman. And he had me sign all kinds of things in the financial stuff. And I had got a finance degree. But he'd be like, oh, can you just sign this? We need this for the house a minute. And because I was in a relationship and you think no one would do that to you and the children, you sign it, don't you? And I didn't check things. So I ended up very similar to Janine in the sense of losing money. I mean, I was somebody that was financially dependent till I met him, and I lost that. He took everything from me. So to have nothing and be where you are and have what I have now, I think I'm a bit of a spender now rather than a save. I think I've changed completely. It's like I'm going to live for today. Um, and I do believe that you have to prepare children to understand savings and investment from a very young age. And I have been there and done that years ago, working with the Bank of England. And I have tried very hard to get this in the curriculum. I'm very proactive in education, and I believe the whole curriculum needs an overhaul. That actually our subject shouldn't be maths, it should be critical thinking. It should be all about your social life, it should be all about health and well-being. Science should be exploring what you can do with the environment, challenging thought, technology, how does it affect them in their life? Because the curriculum that children are being trained for now isn't preparing them for the future, the technological future in the next decade. And along with that, we've got to be really careful of, and this might sound a little bit sexist, but I am going to say a lot of the men are writing AI at the moment. There are not many women involved in that AI protocol. So is that going to be a algorithm that's male dominated and not really female dominated? And I feel that, we've become women that have a voice. I'm proud to be in the situation where hopefully our young women are more protected than they ever were. But education is the key, but the right education. And, I'm privileged to be able to work with Gulnaz on, with Mini Minds and Mandy and write a little bit about what does financial well-being look like and literally look like for young children right up till they're teenagers, because it's something that needs to be happening now alongside how to keep yourself safe, how to recognise when financial abuse is happening, where to go for help, and not be shameful. Because as you said, Gemma, I don't talk about my past. I sit and listen to other people's stories and cry because I'm with you in that journey. It took a brave person to write what I wrote. And my husband said, are you sure you want to put that out there? And I was like, yes, but it took me 15 years to talk about it. Shouldn't happen, should it? And
No.
that's because we are in that position where you get PTSD. I think is the reliving, isn't it? Of I
Yeah.
don't want to relive that. I want to move forward. So for me, I'm utterly grateful for you two sharing your story today. I'm sorry we all went through that, but I do genuinely believe it's made me the person that I am today, the fighter that I am, and the reason I want to help so many other people because
Thank
I don't
you.
want anyone else to go through that.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you
Julie,
for sharing your
well,
story as well, Julie. And I think where you were saying there about the education, but also thinking about the AI and it being written mostly by men, is that those voices, those beliefs may well be coming through. And although like ChatGPT has a disclaimer on the bottom saying all facts need to be checked, it's still coming from a different viewpoint.
perspective.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'd never considered that. Julie, thank you so much. That was tough. And thank goodness for that judge.